Hey, all right, everybody, how's it going? Now, I did say I do a comparison between the E26, I'm on the E26 right now, and the L20. So I'll do a comparison video. This is the comparison video. I hope you can hear me because I got a microphone by here, and I'm wearing a different helmet because this helmet's nice and light. When I usually go out e-biking, I wear this helmet. I wear the big helmet because the microphone's inside and it stops wind noise. But anyway, there's a car coming in, so wait a minute. Right, okay then, I'm past the car. Now then, like I said, I'm going to do a comparison video between this E26 I'm on today, trying to watch the potholes. There's loads of potholes everywhere. And the L20. Now, what I'll do now, we'll go back to me down back by the house and we'll compare the two together, and I will come back to me on this ride by here. Right then, I got the Engwe L20 by here and the Engwe E26 by there, and I said I'd do a comparison video on like which one I'd prefer, which one I'd keep. Now, I do like both the bikes, but there is one I prefer, the one personally I'd like to keep, but you'll have to wait till the end of the video for me to tell you which one it is. So don't skip to the end, watch my comparison and I'll tell you what I think. But there's a couple of differences between this bike and this bike. And first of all, the Engwe E26 is more expensive, so I'll put the price of that one, this bike by here, of that bike there, okay? And I'll put the price of this bike by here, this bike. So this is the price of the L20. And you can see there's a little bit of a difference in price because the E26 has got a few more things on it to put the price up. Now, the first difference is obviously, I say obviously, if you haven't got the bikes, you don't know, do you? The E26 over here, this one has got hydraulic brakes and 180mm discs, front and rear. This one here has got cable operated discs, brakes, and they got 160mm brake discs. So these are cable operated with smaller discs. This one here, hydraulic, with slightly bigger discs. And the reason being is this bike is a lot bigger than this bike. It might not show on the camera by here, but that bike is heavier and bigger than this bike. So, and there's a few more differences, and we'll go through them. Right, okay, if you compare the top speed of both of them, they're quite similar, but I'd say that the L20 is slightly faster than E26. And I think the reason why is because obviously it's got bigger wheels on you, they're heavier to turn around, and the bike is heavier. So the E26 is a heavier bike than the L20. So if you want to move it around in places, the E26 is a bigger bike, taller bike, and a heavier bike. But anyway, let's go a little bit further on my ride, and then I'll have to go later on and jump on the old L20 bike and try that one. But at the moment, I'm still on the I can't even say it, E26. Okay then, so if you're a bit of a shorter person, I'd recommend the L20 because the seat goes lower on the L20 compared to the E26. Now, this is at its lowest point here. It won't go any lower than that. If I take that off there, that's as low as it goes. It obviously goes a lot higher. Look how high that is compared to me there, look. But that is the lowest it'll go because it's got a suspension seat. So, I don't know if you can see, let me just put that back tight there. I don't know if you can see against me. I'm 1.78 centimetres or 178 centimetres, 1.78 metres or 5'10". And you can see where that seat is on me, and I've got to have it at the lowest position. That one there, the seat is raised, it can go lower on that one. So there's a big difference in height. If you're a shorter person, this is the bike for you. If you're a bigger person, this is the bike for you. The other difference is battery size. They're both 48 volts, but that's a 13 amp hour battery, and this is a 16 amp hour battery. Now, I will say, if you go on the website, the L20, you can buy an extra battery to fit the L20, which is a 16 amp hour. So you could have two batteries, put one on the back, when it goes flat. Well, hey, you'd have loads of, you could go quite far then, couldn't you? So it is an upgrade battery for the L20 as well. But like I said, this has got 26-inch wheels. That one's got 20-inch wheels. They're both 4-inch tyres, but it's 20-inch wheels on that one, 26-inch wheels on this one. So it is a bit of a difference. When you're trying to move them around, this one's heavier, this one's obviously more manoeuvrable. But like I said, the biggest difference is the height. This is quite, look, it's quite a high bike there as well. I've put that up like that. You can have it down further if you want. I prefer the handlebars to be higher. So like I've said in the last videos of the L20 and E26, these bikes can go up fairly steep hills. This is a really steep hill in front of me bike here, and I'm probably going to have to pedal a little bit because it's an extremely steep hill. But when I say pedaling, let me go down to a lower gear. I'll put it in second gear like that. You've only got to put a tiny amount of effort in to get up this hill. Like I said, it doesn't show on the camera, but this hill is an extreme hill. You wouldn't find many hills like this, but in Wales it's full of hills. But both the bikes are pretty good at going up hills. I'll come back on the L20 and I'll do that hill exactly the same as on this bike, and they both go up there pretty good with minimal effort, which is nice. Right, okay then, I hope this angle gives you a better idea of the differences in height. You can see the handlebar difference there is a lot higher, this bike is. This bike's a lot higher than this bike. I will say, this bike has got my favourite bell. I did say that in the last video. That bell is awesome. People will jump right out of the way. So this bell on this one, look, ready? And then we go to this one. See, so let me go again, look, ready? Fantastic. Not good at all. So that's the bell to have. It's Engwe branded, that bell is. I know I ain't going on about the bell, but the bell is fantastic. And this one, you can't hardly hear it. See? It might need some adjusting on there, but I can't hardly hear that bell. Well, I don't think people in the distance would hear it. Anyway, so there we go, look, you can see, look. This bike is a lot taller than that bike. I think I've made that clear now, that this bike is bigger. Light. This light is much brighter than the light on that bike. The light on that bike is okay, but the light on this bike is much brighter. It's much brighter light. This one comes with a front rack. I'll go and grab the rack in a minute and show you, but if you see my other videos, you know, this comes with a rack. And the rack does fit that bike there. Obviously, you'd have to move this. You can't have that. You can't have the light down there in the front when you've got the rack on. But this one and that one, that rack does fit on there. I did say about the seat, so I'll show you. This seat does go right. I don't know if that seat goes down. Yeah, that's the lowest point of that seat. That's the lowest point of that seat. You can see that one goes a lot lower. So if you're a lot shorter, this is the bike for you. I'll leave it like it is a minute. They've both got exactly the same 7-speed Shimano. It's exactly the same, I think it is. I think it's got the same derailleur. So it's exactly the same 7-speed. That's the normal sort of thing you get, the 7-speed ones. They both got twisty throttle things there, look. That's both the same on that one and that one. The display on the E26 is a lot nicer than the display on the L20. So I'll give you a little picture of the display on this one, on the E26. So you should see what that one's like. Nice display. This one on here, the L20, I'll show you a picture of this one. This one is fully functional. It's just this one is a bit more basic. This one's a bit nicer to look at, basically. That's what it is. Right then, so they both got metal mud guards. Both of them got metal mud guards. I've been out in the mud. They're fine. They're absolutely fine. They go out in the mud. They stop mud flying up on you. So they're doing the job that they should. They both got rear racks. That one says 25 kilograms maximum weight. And that one here says 25 kilograms maximum weight. So on the rear racks, you can carry the same amount of weight. Right, okay, I just got off the bike, just came up a dirt path. I don't know if you can see behind me there, but that's all mud and muck. And this bike got up there quite easy, which was quite nice. And the mud guards, they did save me from getting dirty. So this bike can do a bit of off-roading as well. So that's not bad at all, is it? Looks like motorbikes have been up and down this path here, look. I just came up this path. It's a bit crazy, a bit muddy. But if you look at the bike, come to the bike here, look, it's not too bad. The bike's not too bad, look. It's a bit of mud on the tyres. There, look, a bit of mud. But the mud guards did save me. So it got up here fine. It got up here okay. Just going to watch these potholes everywhere. There's potholes absolutely everywhere. So I'm on the Engwe L20, and I'm going to go up to the hill, the same hill I went up on for the E26. So the same sort of test, basically. Now, I will say, like I said about size, this bike is a little bit smaller, and I'll do a little few measurements. I'll go back to me in the house a minute, showing the measurements of the difference between the seat and the handlebars. Right, okay, so what I'm talking about is the measurement from there. I'll do it from there to there on this bike. So if I stand back, I'll put the measurement, how long that is there, and then I'll do the same on this bike here, the measurement from there to there. So I'll put the measurement there for that, and you can see that obviously this one from there to there is shorter. Now, obviously when you get the bike, this front bit here is down flat, so that puts the handlebars even further away. So what I'm talking about is the measurement of where you're sitting, but there, and your hands are going forward, and obviously the further away that is, the more you're gonna have to lean forward. The closer it is, the more you sit upright. If you don't mind leaning forward, then it's perfectly fine. But I'm just saying that if that's further away, it could be uncomfortable if you're a shorter person. And that's why I'm saying that, because this distance here is shorter on this one, and you're a shorter person, this would suit you better. Oh, and there's the rack over there, so I'll show that in a minute as well. Right, I've just stopped before the hill. The hill's behind me and up that way, just by there. The hill starts just behind me, right by here. And like I said, if you measure the handlebar difference and the seat difference, it does make a difference if you're a shorter person, how far away the handlebars is. And this bike really does suit my size. Like I said, I'm 5'10", so it's all in a nice position. Anyway, let's go up the hill. So I don't know if you can see, there's water everywhere. It's been raining like mad for the last 5 days. This is the first, I say dry day. It's still a little bit damp, but there's the hill in front of us. Like I said before, the camera doesn't really show hills very well. I'll have to put in a low gear. Let's put in number 2 there. And I've got to about by here now, and it's gone down to, what's that, 8 miles per hour. So I've got to put a little bit of assistance in now, just a little bit. And I've got the seat a little bit low, so I'm going to higher the seat a minute. Right, okay, that's a bit better. I had the seat too low and my knees were coming up too far. So it's a little bit painful. If your knees are coming up too high, your knees are not supposed to go past 90 degrees when you're riding on a bike. So I put the seat up a bit, and it's much better. Anyway, I've only had to put a little tiny bit of assistance in there, and I'm up the worst part of the hill now, so I think the bike will go on its own now. Picking up speed now. And that's probably one of the worst hills around me, but like I said, you have got to put a little bit of assistance in, just a tiny bit. Basically the same as the other bike. I think there's similar sort of power. This bike and the other bike, similar sort of power. They do get up hills pretty well. But like I said, there's a big massive lorry coming, so I'm going to have to pull over. It's pulled over. It's the bin lorry. It's the bin man. He's waving a car past. So let me just get past this bin man. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. Made it past the bin man. Hoo-hoo. Hey. And here we go. Right, okay, so the L20 does come with a front rack. There it is there. It says 13 kilograms maximum weight, and it fits on the front of the bike. If you go and look at some of my previous reviews on the L20, you'll see that I had the rack on the front of the bike. I've taken it off because I don't usually carry stuff on the front of the bike. The rear rack is enough for me. Now, this rack does actually fit. The mounting points on this bike here, on E26, are the same, so it would fit, but you'd have to alter the light to fit in, because when the rack is on the L20, the light goes by here, but I've moved the light, I don't know if you can see it down there, I've moved it onto the front bit there. If I ever want to carry stuff, I can always put it back on. It's only 4 bolts and it's nice and easy. Okay then, with the L20, like I said, this seat post is fixed, and on the E26 it's got a suspension seat post. Now I am missing the sort of the comfort of the suspension seat post on the E26. Does take out the bumps a little bit on the big bumps. So, you know, I think it'd be nice to put a suspension post on all their bikes, really. I think it'd be nice, if they haven't got rear suspension, then a little suspension seat post would be nice on all the bikes. So that is one thing I miss. And like I said before, this one's only got a 13 amp hour battery, so the other one might go a little bit further. But it is heavier, so I don't know. But they're both very nice bikes. I come up this path here. I don't know exactly where I am. I haven't been up this road before, but there we go. But I haven't gone off-road like the other bike because it's been raining like mad. There's mud everywhere. So I think I'm going to turn around, get on my travels now and get back to the old house. Right, okay, then there you go. Now, if I was going to pick one over the other, which one would I pick? Now, it's very tricky. It's difficult for me to pick one over the other. But I think I'm leaning towards I'd pick this one. The price is a little bit more reasonable, I suppose. This one isn't expensive for what it is. They're both good price bikes. But this one, because what I'd say is, if you're any taller than me, I'd go for that one. If you're shorter than me, I'd go for that one. That's what I'd say basically. I'd go for this one because it's a little bit easier to move around. But there's a lot of features on that one that I'd like to be on this one. Like I'd like the brakes to be on that one. I'd like that light to be on this one. But this one's just a little bit easier. Obviously I'd like the bigger battery on this one as well, because the range isn't quite as long on this one as that one. But I do like them both. But if I had to, if I had to really pick, I'd pick that one. And I think it's only because it suits my size of body. If I was a bit taller, I would go for that one. So that's basically it, really. I like both the bikes. I mean, they're similar speed. But like I said, I do prefer this one because it's a little bit lighter. So anyway, if you like my review, or any of my reviews on e-bikes and everything, make sure to subscribe, like, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ho-hoi!